Even though Africa contributes only about 4% of the global carbon emissions, the continent is not insulated from the impact of the climate crisis and may suffer the worst form of devastation from the climate challenge. We are currently producing a staggering 20% more emissions than the environment can safely absorb. It was for this reason that at the Paris Climate Conference in 2015, most countries in the world agreed to keep the global average temperature below 2 degrees Celsius and achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050.
Ta yi zuwan wutan nan kamar na bayan da farko. Da ai sai masu hali, masu kudi su suke amfani da injinan a gidansu. Talaka wanda ba ya da kuya nawa zai ci yaushe zai je sai inji. Ya yi ja gida, ga shafanin mai, ga shauran gyara. Yau duka an kawo da su gaba daya. An dogara ga wutan ne kawai yanzu. Wutan ne shi na ake amfani da shi. Shi yasa mutane sun soma jin dadin wutan yanzu. Kowa da kowa yanzu yana bukatan wuta ne kai gare shi. Domin yana gida duk abin zai da wuta. Ba sai wahalan zuwa wani guri ba.
There are 600 million Africans without access to electricity, and Nigeria is the largest, has the highest rates of this unelectrified population across Africa. Nigeria is also the largest potential market for mini grids, and so mini grids are a key solution in electrifying at least 30% of the unelectrified population. So Nigeria has the potential, but it is being hampered by a range of constraints, including financial and policy constraints at the moment.
Nigeria currently accounts for the fourth largest emissions in Africa after South Africa, Egypt, and Algeria. Nigeria's carbon emissions come from electricity generation, mining, oil exploration played out in gas flaring, manufacturing, transport, and marginally from households. The use of generators as an alternative source of power has made the situation even more dire. Spike in the cost of cooking gas is also forcing citizens back to firewood and charcoal as a source of household energy.
The most of it is the hike in petrol, but I won't say generator is better than using the electricity rather, because most times when you use generator, it doesn't give that power supply to the way electricity will supply to you.
It's the noise itself, and then the smoke that comes out. Yes, it's always choking.
I use generator, but I hate the noise. I don't like the noise at all, because when the noise starts, wow, you won't even enjoy the reason why you on it. I don't like the noise and the smell, the pollution. It has noise pollution and the bad smell that comes in. So I don't like it. I prefer staying in the dark than using the jet.
Finding a global solution to the rising threat to the climate propelled the focus on clean energy as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal for the month of February. At the center of every realistic transformation is the effective deployment of renewable energy sources. In Lagos, Nigeria, moves are being made to switch to electric commercial buses in a bid to cut down on fossil fuels.
There is a lack of infrastructure. So you cannot build, for example, Uber for waste where there is no waste collection infrastructure. You cannot build or tell people to transition to electric vehicles where there are no charging stations or where there are not even reliable power to charge your vehicle. Whatever innovative electric vehicle there is a limit to the distance, the kilometer that you can go without being charged. And if we do not have infrastructures like charging stations, then that means that we can't have electric vehicles. Even when maybe entrepreneurs then innovate and install charging stations, if there is no reliable power, grid power, for example, it means that we then have to start even power charging stations with diesel, which again defeats the entire climate action purpose.
Electric cars require very little maintenance, and for people who are thinking electricity is not available, you can solve that problem by providing solar powered packs where the cars will be charged properly. You could also use IPPs to charge it, but this is really a perfect thing. It also helps drastically by reducing the amount of environmental pollutions that we have from ICE cars.
Seeking a remedy to the steady injury on the climate may demand a sincere appraisal of the sources of the threat and responsibilities assigned in direct proportion with damages caused. To address the challenge, Nigeria must immediately commit to urgent climate action that is backed by resolute ideas, political will, and citizen effort. There is also a need to invest in effective public transport system to reduce the number of cars on the road and, by implication, the number of emissions. Climate action has become a global emergency, and Nigeria cannot afford to be left behind.
I believe that with political will, Nigeria can meet those goals. And like we said earlier on, DCERA, which is decentralization, storage, efficiencies, recycling, repurposing, and artificial intelligence, is a solid concept for us to reach our goals when it comes to transition and renewable energy.
Nigeria must immediately work to harness, optimize, and integrate its renewable energy potential, as the abundance of hydro, sun, and wind provides incredible opportunities for energy transition and to meet its net zero targets. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina, Nwelih.